Hey YouTube world, welcome to my channel, The Magical Solution. My name is Leilani. To all the newcomers to my channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. To my loyal subscribers, thank you so much for sticking around. I wanted to give a shout out and some love to all of those solitary practitioners out there. This video is for you. I've been there, I've done it, I overstand you. I wanted to show you some love because you guys are super brave. You're brave because not only do you have to deal with the outside world who, you know, sees you with your little pentagram necklaces and your book on chakras and your stone rings. They look at you like you have 5 heads. Not only do you have to deal with that on a daily basis, but you also have to deal with a lot of garbage, even from within our community, you know? So our community seems to go through these like magical fads. So we went through a phase of, you know, ceremonial high magic. We went through a phase of, you know, Santeria. We went through a phase of Wicca and, you know, European magic. We went through a phase of all different kinds of stuff, right? Sorry, I'm just moving this camera around. And today's phase, you know, this go around, we are entering a fad of initiation. So I just wanted to say, you know, you're really brave to have to deal with that because there is a lot of peer pressure around, you know, getting initiated or, you know, working with certain groups or, you know, being a part of certain covens or whatever, and it seems like a lot is being put on the solitary practitioner, this feeling of being inadequate, this feeling of like, well, you know, all of these initiates say that they're better because they have access to this and they can do that because they're in this group and I can't, and, you know, maybe I should just get initiated. So like there's a lot of frustration going on, and I totally get it. I was there. And I just want to say that you're brave to deal with it and that you're, you know, holding steady to who you are as a person, and you're taking the time to check out this video or to do more research and to really delve deep on what works for you. So, yes. Another thing I wanted to give you kudos for is your discipline. You know, this work, what we do, is not for the lazy. That is a fact. If you are lazy, if you are looking at this whole magic thing as a hobby, no. Then just hang it up. Hang it up. Because this requires work and due diligence and experience. Right? So to those of you out there who are actually doing that, that are putting that elbow grease in, loving it. So, my video, I guess the intention of my video today is to kind of help the solitary practitioner sort of weigh the pros and cons, right? Of what are some of the things that you face that you would have to think about in terms of making your decision, okay? For me, and I'm just going to give you the stuff that I had gone through, because again, these videos are all about my experiences. They're not, you know, word, they're just my stuff, right? So some of the things that I went through that you might go through was this frustration with access to information, right? I was getting flustered at a point when you look around you and you're like, damn, I have to read this whole thing and study this whole thing and get this whole stuff and experiment with this and experiment with that. Whereas in a group or a coven or an initiate group, you have access to that information already. Like it's already compiled for you in a place where then it's taught to you by other experienced elders. And that's awesome. That is awesome. However, you know, again, I'm not coming from a place of judgment. I'm showing you both sides in a way. And one of the things that I like about the solitary side is that, you really do have to, like, bust your butt. And that says a lot about a person. That says a lot about a person. You're not having information handed to you. Then again, you kind of are. I mean, no offense, with the advent of the internet and everything like that, you guys definitely have it way more easier. But, this idea of being taught, traditional ways, or having access to secret information that you wouldn't normally get, you're learning that on your own. You're figuring that out. It's going to take you a little bit longer. It's going to have a lot more mistakes along the road, right? You're going to have to recoup from a lot of mistakes that you're going to be making, but it's okay. Like, that's cool. That's part of it, and that's going to help you grow as a person. So yes, but that was definitely a frustration that I had until I began to pat myself on the back for all of the work that I was putting in, Another pro and con thing that I was confronted with was this idea of protection, right? So as a solitary practitioner, the reality is there is stuff out there that you shouldn't be messing with until you've hit a certain point in your growth, right? And if you mess with it prematurely, there could be repercussions. Anything from like just simply the spell not working to having some problems at home, to health and mental health issues, all the way up to possession and death. It happens. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but stuff like that does happen. It's rare, but it does happen. So having that protection there is really important, having a group and a community of people that come together during a ritual and allow you to have an experience while they're all standing around to make sure that it goes well, and if it doesn't, they're there to address the situation, is a beautiful thing. Again, not all doom and gloom. The good side about being a solitary, though, is because you don't have to rely on that, you really, really become that much more self-aware, self-proficient, self-reliant on your own power and your own ability to recuperate from these potential mishaps. And that is cool. That says a lot of your will, And I think I'll do another video at some later point about how the will is manifest and how you are to keep your body and mind and soul and your whole union as a strong force in order for that will to be. I think I'll get into that in another video, but that's what we're talking about now with protection. That's the starting point. That's where it all begins. So I think, again, I don't really see as one being better than the other, just two different ways of approaching it, as long as you have that will and that power. Another thing that I came across was this idea of pooling of energy, right? So, when you're a solitary practitioner, you're alone and you're doing it by yourself and you only have your energy to pull from. Whereas if you're in a group or a coven or a community of magical practitioners, you have this ability to tap into a pool of energy that's being given off by all the members. Cool, very cool. Once again, though, I'm not going to fret, right? Solitary practitioners, another reason why you're so strong. Once again, you have to rise to the occasion in terms of having to be a powerful entity, an entity that is equivalent to 12 other entities or 13 other, however many people are in that group, to raise your vibration to a point where you don't need to pool energy because you got enough, and that's a beautiful thing. On the flip side of that, though, there are also public and community gatherings that you can attend where you can experiment with other people and work with other people and see what it feels like to tap into certain pools of energy, just to see if you like it or not, you know? I mean, that's pretty much another one that I confronted. This is this idea of being able to walk away. Let's face it. For some people, for some solitary practitioners, starting magic and getting into this field is kind of like girls in college testing to see if they like other girls, right? You know, giving a girl a kiss and being like, let's see what that's all about, right? It's, for some people, it's testing the waters. They're just seeing what's up with this. And they may find out that it doesn't work for them, you know, that it's not for them, and they put it on the shelf and don't touch it again. And that's okay. You can do that. Now imagine starting off and immediately jumping into some sort of initiatory process. You think you can just walk away that easily? No, because you're giving oaths, you're making commitments, you are working with certain spirits on another level now. They've claimed you, some of them have claimed you as their own. So these relationships, these commitments, these oaths that you make, you can't just walk away from them. There's processes that must occur, right? So that's another thing to keep in mind. Not to say one is bad and one isn't, you know, just like anything, you can grow to love it, right? I guess what I'm trying to do here is get you to think of all the various things. Now here, I want to also put out there to the community, the YouTube community who practices magic, who has ever been confronted with this idea of whether or not to be an initiate or not. I petition you to comment or to make your own response videos regarding what your pros and cons were. Like, what were the things that you weighed out in your mind? What decision did you ultimately make, and why? I think that's a legitimate thing. I don't think that's too much to ask. I think that would be a nice, fun conversation that we can all have with each other. And it's also really helpful for the solitary practitioner. Again, I want this to be a safe place for people to come to get information and feel good about it. So if you have something that I missed, because I only gave you 3, access to information, protection, and pooling of energy. Those things are like my top 3 of what I confronted. But if you have more, comment, make a response video, help your community out, you know, help people make the right decisions that work for themselves, you know, with the help of your experiences and what you've been through. So with that said, I just want to say I am really proud of you. I hope that this was helpful. And if you know a solitary practitioner, someone who feels like they're kind of losing the faith or feels frustrated with certain decisions that they feel like they have to make, send them this video. Because what I really want to relay, ultimately at the end of the day, even if this whole video was not done, I want to leave everyone with this idea of you're not alone, and you are super awesome for choosing this path, sticking to it, disciplining yourself, teaching yourself, getting information wherever you can, meeting people, talking to people, picking their brains, doing internet searches, reading books, watching videos, whatever. I'm proud of you. Keep it up. And ultimately you'll find your path. Eventually spirit will break through. You'll be able to perceive spirit, and it will talk to you. It will tell you what it wants you to do and what your purpose is. And when you find it, I'm going to be so excited for you. And I hope that you get a chance to share that with me in the near future. So with that said, thank you all for stopping by. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.